Hey, 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 hey! We are finally back with another Pichy and Palscast. 3 weeks after Tassie FighterCon 3, but we've gotten there in the end. Once again, I'm joined by series regulars Fire Rider and Jarvie, and I've also got Mullet Cap from Tasmania, meaning that I have 3 out of the 4 people who I would have liked to have a full East Coast Illuminati in anime tournament organization. How are you all going?
Pretty good actually. Just
Well,
got
thank
home
you.
from work.
Yeah, I was playing some Unisnet play, playing at Akatsuki. So I'm feeling pretty good, man. Whenever you play Akatsuki, you feel good.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're in that, 20 delay on Unisnet play, playing against someone interstate, but you land that Tatsu into Super with Akatsuki, oh man.
It was a great feeling. Oh, that 4.5k. Beautiful.
Oh yes. That's how I
Love it.
put the fear of Akatsuki into Steven on day 1 of Unis launch.
Nice. Alrighty then.
Well, I think I should open with a retraction and apology, because there was a point during Tassie FighterCon 3 commentary where I said that the Aegis Reflector, the big shield that Jacko has, is projectile invul, and which it is, and that it ignores Mistfinder, but Mistfinder is not a projectile in Xrd. That is bad double X memory. So, heartfelt apologies, that was a bad slip-up, and this is a consequence of me not doing enough research. I do not pay enough attention to Xrd at this stage of the game, and I really need to do better.
Nah, it's fine.
I think I've said this before on the Discord. There's no commentary that's doesn't walk away with having said something wrong.
Oh yeah,
It's part of
mistakes are inevitable. I'm not.
I mean, that's for everything though. You always make mistakes in something, and that's how you get better.
Definitely.
Yes. If you've listened to any of the film shows we've done, I think they're all terrible, and this is after I've chopped out 20 minutes of audio on each one. As always, things are a learning curve. I've got one other anime note sitting here in my notes from the last couple of weeks in preparation. So, I saw Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh wait, that movie's out?
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of weeks now. Now, I love Pacific Rim because it's Guillermo del Toro using Hollywood to secretly package a Mazinger Z movie in. The joke is, it's just an anime movie disguised as Hollywood. And so I was really worried with Pacific Rim 2 that, since it wasn't directed by Guillermo, that it was going to be directed by someone who didn't get the joke. But oh no, this is the exact opposite situation. If Pacific Rim is an anime movie, Pacific Rim Uprising is a Season 2 compilation movie.
Whoa! I saw the trailer and I saw a bunch of Jaegers, and I was just like, if Season 1 was the anime movie, Season 2 was a Sentai movie. Is it?
It's definitely got some very Sentai elements to the way things move, but no, it's a compilation movie. It's got 13 episodes of plot in 2 hours. This movie is, in a strict sense, it's worse in every way to the original. But if you are someone who has consumed as much trash anime as I have, seeing a movie that moved that rapidly and hit that many absurd, terrible notes of just the laziest stock plot lines you can do, this was a spiritual experience.
Oh, it's so good.
So if you too have been dancing at the edge of the abyss for too long, then this movie will speak to you. I give it 1 billion stars.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I need to watch this.
Yeah, 1 billion stars means 1 billion rewatches, right?
Something like that. In the meantime, so, Tassie FighterCon 3, we should probably actually talk about that event, since that's why I suckered you all here. How was it?
I think it was quite successful. Definitely from a feedback perspective. We got a lot of positive feedback, and everyone was pretty satisfied with the event, except for some Smash 4 guys with some weird drama with them.
Smash is always a complicated field.
Yeah, definitely. We had some financial issues, but they've been sorted out, so that's good. But other than that, I think it was pretty successful, except for the Friday. We kind of flipped the switch on and just died horribly, but oh well.
Yeah, I think I've said that before.
Yeah.
I might have said it to you on the day even, that Friday you can never expect to be good unless you are a 1,500 attendee Friday is the third day of the event sort of situation. People are just going to come in at whatever weird random time they feel like, depending on what flights they've got and when they can get off work. And they just want to get in and soak in the atmosphere of a Raw fighting game event. They're there to just chat and catch up and hit some buttons. So trying to make anything really formal requires a lot of discipline. And certainly for an event the size of TFC, I don't really think it's worth it. So yeah.
At the same time, like, I understand the ideas of putting a game like Melty or Persona on a Friday, though, because those are the games
ideal.
you want to have those, like, the games that just put you into the atmosphere, those wacky games that people don't play seriously anymore, but still have a ton of fun with.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to have more free Melty Blood tournaments that I win. I'm not going to complain about that.
And Persona 2.
I would like a Persona tournament where I actually get there.
Yeah, you could have been there. We could have had an actual Persona match at all in the tournament. Instead of me doing half of a Mizuki, I've forgotten his name. Yeah, Minazuki. Half a Minazuki combo in every match. And then running into, like, Javi 2Bs for way too many times.
But I did enjoy commentating that match, and I gotta give a big shout out to Blue on commentating with me.
Did you say TS2B is bad?
Okay, so this is an old joke. It's a Gary joke. There was a time when Gary said about... Yeah, this would have been about 7 years ago. He said that Teddy had bad anti-airs, and we would not stop laughing over it for the obvious reason.
Now that makes sense.
Gary, the gift that keeps giving.
Gary has come a very long way.
He has. But yeah, Blue's a great guy. I very much enjoy his presence.
What is also great, while we're just here in the early stages, I won a bunch of those free-to-enter tournaments, and what I won was what I thought were just joke tokens, since I saw the year on them, and figured, they're 10-year-old joke tokens you had floating around. But no, they are the gift vouchers for the venue. Now, Area 52, it cannot be stressed enough if you've never been to Tassie FighterCon. It is a nerd bookstore / game store / comic book store with a huge upper loft. It is the ideal venue for an event of this size.
Definitely. It is a great store. Andrew's he's pretty good with this. He lets us like run all kinds of tournaments up there. Like we have card games and like D&D and things like that going on all the time. It's great.
It's very good.
I on the jumping ahead, I went on the Monday. I had to come back to my phone. Great story. Lost my phone. But yeah, I ended up, because no one was there yet, I assumed everyone had their Monday duties, and I was pretty much the only guy there. I ended up having a good talk to Remy and Andrew, and it's just really, really great guys. They're really passionate about this stuff. They're really passionate about like the hobbies in general, and they're pretty knowledgeable too. So I think just having like that support and that kind of venue interested in having you is that's a huge boon.
Definitely. Andrew was even talking about, just before the event started, how he found some arcade cabinets in Vic and he was going to try and get them down.
Yeah, I had a hankering for Third Strike the whole time when I saw there was that Astro City cap sitting up there.
Oh, yeah. You could have asked me. I would have fired it up for you.
Nah, it's okay. I'll just go over to Nurk and Kai's when I feel like getting blown up in Third Strike this year. Or there is a side tournament at BAM. I can always get blown up there.
Oh, that's true.
No, if it's me, like every single time I've entered a Victorian Third Strike tournament, I have had Toxie in my bracket as either first or second match in winners. Every single time. And it's quite often a double elimination as well.
Oh, sad times.
And we both play Chun, and Toxie, when he feels like it, he can be fairly passive, so it's just start of every round, 3 backdashes per player, A. Okay, we've both got 2 bars. Oh, look, I dropped my buffer, and Toxie's got better footsies than me. A. Well, that's the match.
Third Strike is a special game.
It's a good game.
And the way I put it is, it's a game I'd love to watch, but would never want to play.
Yeah.
Nah, just play Chun. Then you'll see the true beauty of that game. What you want to do is you want to pick Chun for the first time, and then fight a half-competent Oro for the first time. That's what you want your introduction to Third Strike to be. Because Horror will be walking back and forward, and carefully placing these standing medium kicks. And you just hold down back because you don't know what you're doing, and every single one of his kicks will whiff and you can just blow him up for free. Look at that brilliant strategy. Look at how hard you're outplaying that Oro. I can crouch under all his footsie buttons. What a cool game.
Great game. 10 out of 10.
Do you like having Sol 2D hurtbox for everything you do crouching? Play Chun-Li.
That's wild. I just played Yang and I just did mash into Manta. Always. Got Meter, EX Manta.
Yeah, to be fair, that's top level Yang play as well.
Yeah, there you go. I'm on the right track.
You're already a professional.
Now, what else do I have here? So, I was looking over the VODs over the last couple of days, and just as a general, this is not specifically TFC feedback, it's just a general thing, and it's certainly something that I'm finally making some steps to improve myself, is that there is nothing more useful than having all of your audio mix worked out before it goes through to the stream. If you've got a way to hear in real time what your audio mix is, then it's so much easier to adjust things on the fly, because people randomly turn off and forget to turn back on microphones as they do things. Sometimes people will just leave them sitting on for ages. People will adjust their position, so then your mix was all right for one person who's correctly projecting with the mic at a decent space, but then you need to adjust things further for someone who's, say, really quiet or really, really mic shy because they don't understand that you need to be eating your microphone like it's an ice cream at all times.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, you always, because of the different hardware from like setup to setup, some people have super sensitive mics on one.
Oh, yeah.
And like not sensitive on the other. So it'd be really nice just to have that mixer to the pre-stream mixer, just to be able to test your audios. Because especially when you have a digital mix.
Yeah, the absolute ideal, because there are digital mixing options, as you and I have both messed around with before, but they're all absolutely messy. The general ideal is, the easiest thing to do is that Behringer has a range of USB audio mixers, which you can just develop everything from there before. I am broke, and I am looking for equipment which is as versatile as it can be. So I'm currently holding in my hands a Tascam DR60D, and what this is it's a hardware audio mixer with equalizing functions, but it's actually one intended for use with cameras. So the aim of this is that, it takes multiple XLR inputs, as well as camera microphones themselves. So what you can do with this, in addition to the general mixing, is if I attach this to a camera when I have a better camera, then I just plug in the camera microphone through this, and then this back into the regular camera audio input, and I'll have all my nice XLR inputs with whatever the hell cheap, crappy $200 DSLR camera with audio input I can find. I have some goofy shooting ideas. That's why I've got this. They may involve a review of Udocamp, which requires me to go camping.
Yeah, but for me, I think the most obvious tip is just look at your OBS and just have people talk one at a time. If you have your mic channel on one channel and you have your game audio on another channel, you just look at the bars and just see how they go up, because that's a general guide to your audio levels. Yeah. It's really that easy.
And if they go red, turn it down a bit.
Yeah, for the most part, I couldn't do those kinds of adjustments because I was too busy running tournaments and stuff like that. But I'm definitely looking into actually improving the sound itself over the course of the year. Like, I'm right now trying to fix what you suggested to me, Fiery. Like, trying to get that mixer.
Yeah, the thing about what I use personally is that I'm just running a digital mixer because I haven't invested any into audio, into an analog mixer yet.
Yeah, you're just using Banana with a bunch of virtual.
Pretty much. Yeah, it works, but ideally you'd not want to use digital, because when you stick your devices into your PC, you got that electrical feedback, and if you listen closely, there's like a little bit of static in the background.
There's always a chance that there'll be some sort of memory leak from some utility that you're using, and your RAM might decide to dump all the information, and then it will just lose half the audio data for a chunk.
Now then, good story. Do we remember last year, Bam, the after party where
Mm-hmm.
we were having the G in the money match and there was absolutely no audio?
Yep.
That's exactly what happens.
Yep. And especially with the
That's
noise that
nice.
was in that room. It would have been easy to
Yeah.
blow out microphones anyway.
Yeah.
It was a special case. So yeah, with Bam coming up soon, I wanna rejig some of my setup. So hopefully I should try looking into getting an analog mixer.
Hmm.
I feel like I've been pretty fortunate. I'm like the only TO who doesn't know things about stream.
Oh,
It's like,
well,
other
Melbourne,
people
you've
do it
got
for
like
me.
actual dedicated stream crews.
Yeah.
And even then, there were periods where, say, like, when Burnout was going hard with the streaming, he often had a bunch of friends like Farp Noodle who would fly in from Singapore for things like some of the Shadowloo Showdown streams.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's a very nice setup. Any setup where you've actually got the producer able to communicate you directly like you're professionals and just give you information and feedback in your headsets that the stream can't hear, those are the real good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking into these kinds of things.
The OHN mainstream was pretty good.
No, it was okay. It could have been a lot better, but you know, it
Yeah.
sets a benchmark because for that was most of an experimental thing. We wanted to try some new ideas, and we figured out what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, this year's one's going to be an improvement from that.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you're having majors, you only really get one shot, and improving year after year, there's such a big time period between the events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bar gets high too.
Well, let's put it this way. People had a good time at SXE 2014, and unfortunately I've deleted the original video, but if you go look up what scarce footage there is from SXE 2014 on my YouTube channel, there are some sound issues, to say the least.
Oh my gosh, I've heard the stories from Runus. Great guy, has many stories. The classic Giggles and Runus commentary pair. Apparently the best Blaze Blue commentary, and none of it was recorded because of audio issues.
Oh, no, I'm not talking the mainstream ones, I'm talking the Pichy and Pals stream, where is roughly what it sounds like. Apologies to everyone for what I just put you through.
Microphone warning in 3, 2, 1.
So, my next note that I have written down here is on Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, and the note says, I don't want to play Dengeki anymore. Now, the reason that I don't want to play Dengeki anymore is actually because I really like the game still. But the game is at a point where no one else in South Australia wants to play Dengeki with me. Like, the regulars just don't enjoy the game. And I'm at the point where I want to... whenever I play that game, I want to step up my game and do better, but I've got no opportunities to actually grind it out. And so I'm at the point where I want to either play the game for real and get some decent grind in, or just put that mental energy into putting over some other weird, wacky game. Like Doom or Vampire, or Melty Blood, or Fighting EX Layer.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. That's how I feel with like a lot of main games.
Yeah, for me, go on.
Yeah, so for like Guilty Gear, I feel like I never want to put any time into it, just because if I do want to put time into it, I have to grind really, really hard. And for me, it's just like not as enjoyable grinding as it is actually learning matchups and things, which I can't do because my internet sucks for Guilty Gear for some reason.
Yeah, for me, I've actually, especially leading up to and after TFC, I've actually been playing a ton of games. I've been experimenting with games from all over the scene.
Ooh.
I was playing a bit of Tekken before TFC. Post TFC, I was playing VF. I'm trying to actually like genuinely learn GG after trying on and off. And I've just been like playing so many games. You realize there's a bit of perspective between each game, so we realize which games are just better to play on a side and some are not. Like Tekken and GG, they're really not side games. There is so much like knowledge, so much homework you need to learn to be able to play that without feeling frustrated.
Yes, those are games which you need to go in and hard on.
And then there are games like VF. I feel VF is a bit of homework. Like you got to get used to the game a bit, but after that, it's a very feelsy game.
Once you
where
have
you
learned
kind of
the
just-
rock, paper,
yeah.
scissors of that game, everything else is a further extension of the rock, paper, scissors game. So if someone's actually sat down and taught you how the RPS works, then everything and the basics of combo theory, then everything else from there you can extrapolate by just playing with people and seeing what their habits are.
Yeah, but in a way, that's also why I like Dengeki so much, because I feel the game is boiled down to a very simple, neutral game where you can play that rock, paper, scissors. It's very simple, and it just feels more against the player than actually learning a lot of matchup knowledge.
See, for me, Dengeki is far less a rock, paper, scissors game than it is one of hard conditioning, where that is a game which has very low-risk options, which are quite effective, and some high-risk options which have higher reward. And so it's very much a game about assessing whether people are more liable to take the safer options or the riskier options, and then you construct how you approach them and how you pressure them from there.
I think
This is why Goichi is such a good Dengeki player.
no, but I think just knowing the options, getting to the stage where you know the options, is what sort of Fire is talking about. Like Guilty Gear, there's a billion options. Like you don't.
Oh, Guilty Gear is like a 10-year journey of just learning what every option is.
Yeah.
It's a game of just weird situational bullshit that trips you up.
Stuff like VF. Well, I don't know much about VF, but for Dengeki, it's clear what the options are, so you know the options. Yes, the next stage is to condition, but games where it's very, I guess, it's like much more simple in that sense to understand the strategy.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty comparable to a Street Fighter game where footsies and all that kind of stuff play much more of a role than Mix Up does.
Whoa! I play Claw.
Depends on which Street Fighter it is.
That's true. I've only played 5, and that felt like just don't even try to mix up. Just play
game.
Food. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't really feel like it.
High level 5 is a very, very stressful up close game. To the point where a lot of people are willing to just eat the throws because it is the lowest damage penalty. Similar to what's happened with Koihime Maso.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I only played back in the early days of it, which is probably...
You eat 4 Street Fighter 5 throws, that is still better than doing one bad guess in your defense and getting crush counted.
That's true. Crush counters are a sad time.
They were cool in KOF 12, right?
It's
It's easy to make jokes, and I'm gonna reassert this. Oren, Sleep Mode, if you are listening, I know you like to talk over KOF 12. The key to why KOF 12 sucks isn't because there's crush counters. The reason that I hate KOF 12 is because there's no projectile limit, which means that Athena gets to have 2 Psycho Balls on the screen at any one time. Now, I like to play Athena, but this is nonsense.
God. I am so glad I went from 11, which actually had its own brand of wackiness. I mean,
oh boy,
Cooler Jump C, man, that was some stuff.
Match
and then
those odds.
was it Gato?
Gato?
Yeah,
Mr. Air Dash.
he was.
Yeah, Oswald
That game
Cooler
was
Gato
special.
is the meme team.
That game was special.
It sure is. Hey guys, we put bursts in a KOF game, but they only work if you're grounded, and the top tier get you off the ground after the second hit.
Oh no. What's the point?
There is none, but you can get out of that Ryo combo.
Low tier.
Poor Ryo. So let's actually talk about the brackets, shall we?
Brackets.
Pull them up. Is this a thing? Yes. Here we go. What have we got here? First one I've got is one of the main games. Tassie FighterCon 3. We had 23 entrants. The top 8 was Issei from Japan / Melbourne, Runus, Lim, De Beast, then Prods and Dreadtech, and Forte and Sweeb.
Yeah. Good old DBFC.
So, yeah, a bit unfortunate to the Tassie boys. You were pretty confident that they were going to take this.
Yeah. That was...
But they did not go down. They did not go down easy. Though. They went down fighting, and that was great. That served up some really hype matches there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lim getting third is still pretty good. it was just Runus's, like, his combo game was just amazing.
Oh
Like,
my goodness me, the combo game, the strategy.
The Runus.
The Runus.
Look, the Runus tech.
Look, we all
He
know,
actually
we all
landed
love to make fun of Runus's goofy purple throw setups in Blaze Blue, but no one was prepared for his game plan of collect all 7 Dragon Balls and make a wish.
Twice.
He made 2 wishes. His wishes came true. Unspeakable power was in his grasp.
Do you think if he only made one wish, he would have come first?
Ooh, maybe.
Oh, too much hubris?
Too much. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe
But he had to go for it.
Maybe if his one wish was immortality, he would have still lost then. Because he'd have summoned the dead zone and fallen inside it.
True.
Yeah,
Get
this,
unblockable by the plane, not coming back.
yeah, this was a fun tournament to watch. The level of play... Certainly we're still working out how neutral works in Australia. But there was a lot of fun, tense moments. A lot of matches going right down to the wire, which is great to see.
Yeah.
On the Friday, I beat up Spoony Gosling for a while. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I mistook him for Prods. So when I saw that I had Prods in tournament, I went, oh, well, that's cool, I'll just beat him up. No, it's, oh, wait, no, that was Spoony. Crap, Prods is better than me in Dragon Ball.
I feel so, like, bad for Spinny, because every time I saw him, I kept calling him Prods until Prods arrived, and I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, they're both really nice guys.
They are.
So you can get them mixed up.
Shoutouts to Spoony, cool guy, GG's. Thanks for all the
Shoutouts to Prods in the chat.
Yeah, so he appears to be our only commenter.
Thanks,
Thank you
Prods.
very much. Have we got this? Yep. So next
Yeah.
up, anything else you want to say about DBFC?
Yeah, I think Issei coming down was great. At
so-
first he seemed a little bit shaky, but I'm glad to see his gameplay improved over the course of the tournament.
It was certainly better than his gameplay at the hotel room that we were in on the Sunday night. Suck it into playing a bunch of Chaos Breaker.
He didn't wake up for the Angel Eyes, but he woke up for Chaos Breaker.
Yeah, he just passed out as soon as Tokidensho Angel Eyes was on. Don't blame him.
Nice.
Under Night in Birth XL8. We had 19 entrants.
Oh, I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about this.
Oh, I want to talk. There's something very, very simple to say here, which is I was in grand final. I was 2 game. Oh, first of all, I somehow thought that I was in winners semis against Julian the first time when it turned out that I wasn't. So we had to play the final games of that set, but then it still ended up being a 3-0, so that was all good. And then I was up 2-0. I was on the winner's side of Under Night in Birth XL8 Grand Final, and I choked. I choked so hard. My hands decided to not do what I wanted. My eyes wouldn't respond every time that there was a charged 5cc, so I got whittled away by a bunch of overheads. I made a couple of really dumb calls. There's one round where you'll see I'm continually jumping in the corner, and it's because my brain has decided that the way I'm going to get the momentum back is to air shield one of AB's jump-ins, and then air throw him and use that air throw as a starter, and then get the kill combo that way. And this was the right read, because this is a response to the way he was approaching. He was not airtight with his meaties at all, and he was doing it, but since this is not something I've ever practiced, I just botched the execution over and over again. Instead of saying, okay, let's do something else for a bit, I just kept on doing it. I'm also really bad at using the Throwtech anti-air button option select, and there were a number of times where I could have blown up charged here and the like, and a bunch of his hot pressure if I'd actually done that more. That's part of why I play a DP character in that game, is so that if I'm seeing someone hopping, if my brain's on point, I can actually just react and DP it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I botched real hard here, and Julian didn't, and he kept calm, he played his game, and it worked, so well done to him.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to say my story?
You do.
Sure.
Why did I pick the tester?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Fiery, you are not Falco. Just think that
Yes.
every time. You are not Falco. You cannot get
I
away.
am not Falco. I am not Falco. I am not Falco. because I played my first game against Julian, and I just played terribly. I did unsafe block strings. I just stood there and got hit. And then I just, like, on my main, myself, I just didn't want to play him for the rest of the tournament. I just got tilted from the start. My first game, tilted. I feel like if I played Seth, I would have probably beaten Prods, but you can't let those tournament nerves get on you. That's a classic example of tournament nerves. You got to keep it calm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know why you picked Batista. I mean, the spacing was kind of working out until Prods realized what was going on.
Oh no, actually, I feel it was pretty close. It's more like I don't play Batista. It was just a terrible decision to pick a character I am not confident in playing.
Nevertheless,
Like, do you have any other spacing characters that you could have played?
Well, I reckon like Akatsuki. It was close
Akatsuki.
games. I could have just kept playing Akatsuki.
That's true.
I just lost that one match. I decided to just pick another character when I could have just stayed off Akatsuki.
That's fair enough. Alrighty then.
at this point, Eunice is the game that I'm enjoying most of the current crop of games in rotation, and I'm really looking forward to playing it a bunch more at BAM. If Dave's going, then I'm going to get blown up by him horribly, but I really want to just grind out some games with Nurk and Giggles. Get back in.
I'll let you know.
Fully.
Everyone from New South Wales is going. The whole crew, the whole Eunice crew.
Yes.
Nice.
That's just a distraction. That just means it's going to be like Dave, Igor, and myself talking about Street Fighter 2 and KOF 97. And 98, I guess.
The 97 global match, the petition
yeah.
for rollback netcode.
Yes, where they're testing out some rollback ideas. We might be getting the optimal form of KOF. Power Charge. Into Kara Power Charge. Into more Kara Power Charge. Do you know how to do the Terry combo?
No, I've only seen it.
You do Power Charge, and then you keep doing Power Charges, but they have to be Kara cancelled off of a whiffed normal.
So you gotta do
makes
like
them anywhere
CD power charge.
Yeah, so you do like Crouch C or Crouch A into Power Charge over and over again.
Oh my gosh. That
Wow.
doesn't even sound like a proper game mechanic.
No, that's a very KOF thing. Look, in 2001, Kula's Ray Spin, her Tatsu, is anywhere juggle at all times. So her infinite is just doing her Tatsu and over again. And not only can she do her Tatsu over and over again, she can link into it off of her reversal super.
Oh, brilliant.
So she'll DP you and then infinite you to win the round.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And
Wow.
by reversal, I mean it's freeze execution, and it's the old style of freeze execution where it does a billion chip on whiff.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh.
The only reason she's not the best character in the game is because if you correctly input, I think it's like crouching B and crouching D together or something due to the way button priority works. Anyway, there's a certain input you do with Foxy as you're inputting her crouch B, her crouching light kick, and it makes it unblockable.
Oh.
2001
So this is
was
like-
the widest
This
strikers,
is a 6
right?
frame normal.
It
2001
was the game with the Joe striker.
No, that's 2000. 2000 is where Joe has the anywhere juggle restand assist, which basically turns the game into Skullgirls. 2001 is just, there are basically 3 people on the planet who like KOF 2001. Those people are me, A1 Major, and the Undying Mage. And the Undying Mage and A1 Major like the game because the game is how they met each other. And A1 Major wrote like half of the game facts guide on the game.
Did he rate the attacks with stars as well?
No. He was never one of those silly people.
Is there cough at BAM? I think there is.
Good question, BAM tournament organizer. Is there KOF? I really hope there is, because
I
the
think there
patch
was
for
one.
KOF is in 2 days.
Well, we
Is that
had
new
a,
characters?
We haven't declined any names.
So they're adding 4 new characters, and they're doing a balance patch again. Like the last few times they've done balance patches, they haven't put out the notes until the day of the patch. So we're assuming that's what's going to happen. All the 14 patches, they've actually been really good with writing down what the changes are in English. Not quite as good as the Undernight in-birth patches are. If you've ever looked at those patch notes, they have really genuinely good developer notes on, here is the decision-making and ethos behind why we're doing these changes. Play Undernight in-birth.
To be fair, the Undernight in-birth developers did release their frame data with conclusive notes. Like, they gave us so many notes of their frame data. It's all in Japanese.
There's no KOF at this point at BAM, so we can't submit more DIY tournaments at this point, can we?
Nope. But we pretty much we didn't say no to any of the DIY because we had an application form thing. We said yes to everything.
Yeah, I was busy at the time, so I didn't actually fill in the forms that I should have, because I should have submitted a Vampire Savior tournament.
You know, I find it really unfortunate about KOF 14. It's just it started off rocky, and it's just I feel like it can't get a foothold at this time just because there's just so many games that just keep coming out over and over, and just it can't get the attention it deserves. Because I feel like it's a really good game now.
It is.
Like a lot of the finals, a lot of the high level play is just it's really solid. It's what you would have expected from KOF 14 initially.
The game still has the same fundamental design concern, which is that it's a game where Stand D max mode activation is extremely strong, and that's always going to be. Yes, we have the real boss, the true final boss of BAM, DreadTech in the chat, and they said no to a couple. Can you give us the hot takes? Can you give us the scoop, Dreddy? What are the banned games? If not, never mind. I'll apologize and move on. Next game.
Okay, I would guess that Dredd probably said no to official Dengeki teams.
Oh, sad times.
Ooh. Did you submit that?
No, I didn't.
I did in my mind.
Nah, that doesn't count. There's no Phantom of the Opera here.
Oh, do you guys think this will get more people at BAM than BB? Because TFC did.
Ooh, more than Blaze Blue.
Heaps of people are coming to Eunice.
In saying that, half the people got disqualified, so...
Yeah, there was a huge culling for Eunice on the actual day, since it was a Sunday morning tournament.
Besides, most of the people who signed up barely played the game. Like, even me forgetting on my combos was still enough to beat them, pretty much.
Much like the Melty Blood.
Look, I think Eunice at BAM is going to get a hell of a lot of people just because New South Wales will fill the bracket.
That's true.
This is going to be like Blaze Blue last year when New South Wales filled half the bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New South Wales army for Eunice is very strong.
That's true.
I'm still banking on it being a Nurk versus Dave grand final. And if this will be the first tournament that they're both in and that's not the case, that'll be great. We'll see. I don't know how much ISO's playing Eunice, but if he's still playing it, then he should be a much stronger contender now.
Okay, to answer those few questions, being from New South Wales, there's a very high number of strong contenders from New South Wales. Haiku is actually really good, so I have high hopes for Haiku. I met him at Gong last week. Great guy, great attitude. He's going to go far. And ISO's Voldstein is still terrifying. I hate that matchup.
Yeah, and
see, that's where you play Vatista, because then it's like a 10-no matchup against ISO, remember?
Yeah, you can't block
There's nothing he can do. She can flash kick. There's no mix-ups in this game.
Brilliant.
So Blaze Blue. Darkest timeline. The winner was Runus.
Dropped it. Damn it.
No, Blaze Blue was fun. I enjoyed it.
Immensely.
Yeah, I didn't really have much to say about it. I enjoyed it, and it was a great tournament.
Yeah, it's a giggles-free Blaze Blue event, so it's a bunch of people playing the game at some level, a lot, and I mean a lot of Susanos.
Yeah, there were a lot of Susanos.
Yeah, there was like
3 of them from memory in top 8.
Whoa, who was the third one? I only saw Prods and Julius.
Prods, Julius, Zach has a pocket Susanoo.
I feel like there was a
Rod's
pocket
Julius
season at one
and
point.
Julius too. So probably just Julius again.
Yeah.
Because Julius is that kind of guy where you just see him too many times and you've already had enough of him.
Oh, no, Julian was playing Azrael, wasn't he? Damn it.
Yeah.
But no, it was only two. It was only two Susanoo. So Runus was playing Mai, Mollicap was playing Lambda, Prod was playing Susanoo, Julius was playing Susanoo, Julianne was playing Azrael, Gaijin Weeb playing Platinum, and I decided to pick every character I knew how to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying to you should just stick to Carl, but I think mentally you're done with BlazBlue at this point.
Yes, that's true, actually. I have to admit that. BlazBlue is a game where I still enjoy playing it, but at this point I'm not really taking fighting games seriously. I'm only trying to learn a variety of characters so the people who do take it seriously do have the matchup experience.
Oh no, don't be me. Don't be me.
I'm being Pichy 2016.
Yeah.
It's me every year, mate.
BlazBlue's one of those games that I want to really get into, but I can't because I have no time to do anything in my life right now.
Well, that's the guy who came second.
That's true.
And almost won the finals. What?
I just dropped in the end. I just let Runus get away with way too much and stopped reacting to overheads and things like that.
And Mai's the sort of character where if you give her an inch, she will take that mile.
That's true. And Lambda's the character where you can't let people. You can't get.
Yeah, you
can't
need
let people
complete
have an inch.
control. You need to strangle them.
Hey, for me, BlazBlue is like so. There's a lot of actually people who don't play Guilty Gear, especially from New South Wales. So I just like learned some B&Bs in BlazBlue to like just better connect with those people, I guess.
Yeah.
Like just have some fun.
You were beating me a lot.
I think I get like 1-1, lost 2. I think that's my result.
I think you won like 3 against me. Oh, you mean like in the bracket?
In the tournament, yeah. Like I didn't place very high. Like
you placed 9th, so that's like almost lost. But yeah, you beat someone. Oh, you beat Joe.
Where's the
so Zukov.
Come on, show me the pools, you silly bracket.
Yeah, you lost to Julian and not Julian. And Zach, which is LF222, because S things. And you beat Zukov.
Yeah, take that, Zukov.
Doesn't even play the game.
No, the cowardly option select.
I want everyone in.
I'm trying to remember why I got screwed. Oh yeah, I had Fiery at the start. That's why I got screwed.
Oh right.
Yeah, whatever. I don't play it's not even I don't even play this game, lollards. No, I actively don't like Central Fiction.
Because of
being a former Bullet player in CP, I would say the same thing.
I don't mind because for me, tiers have never been my concern. I just like using Cavalier and that's it.
Well, my issue isn't she's actually stronger than she was in any Chrono Phantasma iteration, but her core game plan is altered and doesn't do the things that I want her to do. And the things that I wanted her to do aren't things that are compatible with the way Central Fiction operates.
Yeah. Because damn those high tiers.
No, it's not the high tiers. Like, I actually quite enjoyed things like Izanami because there are lots of projectiles to afterburner through and opportunities to do like Snap-On's Fist and anti-air grabs. No, it's that the way that pressure works in Central Fiction is really different to how it works in Calamity Trigger through to CP.
Yeah.
I honestly don't feel like it's that much. Well, in a way, it's different.
It's
just
very
different. The introduction of OD Cancel really
completely
exacerbates
things.
how flawed Bullet actually is as a character.
Yeah, well,
I guess the existence of that mechanic is really what's rough.
How BlazBlue used to work is that it was a game where you would do something that was plus and had a high attack level, and then you would pressure from there. And the way that I played Bullet was built very heavily around if you try to instant block and disrespect me, then I have an answer. If you barrier, I have an answer. And if you regular block, I get to keep going. But guard cancel overdrive destroys that, because as soon as I get to the move that's plus, also one of those moves isn't plus anymore, then I just eat the guard cancel overdrive instantly. Whereas Central Fiction pressure is built all around low commitment jabs. And Bullet's jabs suck. And her movement and approach game sucks and was nerfed drastically. That's the one part of a game that's worse. So it's much more about get the knockdown, roll the dice on the grappler Rocky. And if it didn't work, well, too bad. Moral of the story, play Jin or S or Susanoo. They're pretty cool guys.
Yeah, I would say that. Or just invest in something like 9 or something else that's good up there.
Yeah, you've seen the S tiers from EVA Japan. There's like 20 characters to pick from up in S tier. You can't go wrong. One for everyone.
How good's Kagura in Central Fiction 2?
Kagura?
He's better.
He is really good. Like, people will say he's bad, but those are only Kagura players. Kagura is really good in CF. I played quite a lot of matches while I was in Japan with really high rank Kagura. He's terrifying.
He also really exacerbates the worst parts of BlazBlue learning syndrome, where all of his animations involve swirling around and twirling in a way that makes no sense until you've just mentally remembered that swirl means it's an overhead. That slightly different swirl means it's a low.
Whenever you see this, please use fuzzy block to block the cross up.
Yeah,
And then they gave him an instant overhead into 5k. So yeah, I guess that was great too.
So it's less effective at high level. It's just this is this weird textbook you have to memorize in order to play against this character at all.
Go ahead, Javi.
No, I was going to say, last time I played Orin, he played a Kagura. Like, I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea what's happening with a lot of new characters, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's BlazBlue.
Kagura is definitely a character I want to learn to match up against, because being a zoner, I actually have some options against.
I would love to go on a rant about BlazBlue, especially Central Fiction and the new characters and order design.
Yeah.
But I could go on forever. I dislike the new Central Fiction characters a lot.
Hey, look, I think I've told you before that why I think they're the best. I mentioned it on one of the earliest episodes of this show, is that since it was the climax of the storyline, they were designed to be very JRPG final boss-ish. And I actually really liked the dynamic of struggling against JRPG final bosses in a competitive environment, and feel that there just wasn't enough done to make the existing characters feel like people who have had anime mid-season power-ups and are thus capable of taking down the JRPG final bosses.
That's true.
Like, thematically, I liked what they did.
Yeah.
Mechanically, very questionable decisions.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we don't have to worry too much about Central Fiction.
Yeah.
Because, like, the new BlazBlue is coming out soon.
That's true.
Yeah, CF really does feel like it's in its twilight years at this point.
Mm.
You see, I'd love to agree, but whenever I pick up again, whenever I just start playing BlazBlue with someone, it's just like, I don't want to stop playing.
Cool.
So I just don't know how to feel. When I'm not playing it, I don't feel like playing it. When I actually just bother to pick up the game, I could go on for a long time.
Yeah. For me, it's like the same kind of thing, except it's just like, instead of I don't want to play, it's just like, I don't want to play right now.
At the same time, I feel like that's that status of just the cold game that everyone pulls out and then just loves to play, but they don't really care about it anymore. Like Persona.
Yeah. But
so BlazBlue might be hitting Persona status.
For me, like, I've been pretty, like, isolated when playing BlazBlue, because I got this good on pretty much playing only bots. So now that I'm finally playing more people, it feels amazing for me.
That's always the thing when you're somewhat newer to actually playing with people. Is I mean, I'm at a different, more tired point than some of you, and hey, it's cool. Like, I'm glad that you're still enjoying the game.
Yeah.
So, Guilty Gear, a very unsurprising winner of this tournament.
I'm sorry I let you guys all down.
It's fine, because you let us down and lost to Julian.
No, you want real letdowns? I lost to Zukov.
No, I loved watching that match. That was so fun. Great match, enjoyable. A lot of back and forth. It's
Yeah,
one of
so-
those matches where even if it wasn't technically good, because it was actually genuinely pretty awful, it was just
terrible.
It was amazing. It was entertaining. It was the giggles of Dread versus Dread of TFC3.
In pro wrestling parlance, this is what Jim Ross would call a slobber knocker. Two people punching each other in the mouth over and over again. Yet my idea was, at the start of this year, after the 2.1 changes were announced, was, hey, looks like Baikon's guard cancel functions. Maybe I'll just play Baikon full time. So I wanted to actually just stick to a single character all tournament, instead of doing my wacky counterpick attempts. And so I stuck to Baikon, and if I played her a lot more, then I would certainly be a lot better with her. But the spaces that she's effective at, and the fact that a guard cancel doesn't work quite as well as I thought it would on paper, I should really just stick to someone else. I should just stick to Axel, Leia, or Slayer at this point.
If you feel that way, I guess that's fine.
Okay, let me put it this way. If I had actually just played Axel in that match, I would have killed Zukov.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I'm calling you out, Zukov!
I'll link him this later, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, right."
Hey man, if we want to do that match at BAM, that could be an entertaining match to do.
It would
Did that
be
match
pretty-
happen at the after party?
Did it?
I think I played with him a bunch. I can't remember.
Many matches happened at that after party. It was mostly just...
no,
Pichy
not
versus
many
Zukov,
matches
so very
happened. I think we should get to the after party and how we got to the bar, which is immediately behind the venue, and we went up to the upper floor and some people ordered some food, and 30 minutes later they said, "It's closing time, everyone needs to leave." Good after party.
Yeah.
I was glad to
That
have
was
a pleasant, quiet end to the evening.
I didn't mean for it to be that short, because I was like, "Do you mind if we stick around for like an hour or two?" And then he was just like, "Sure," and then he just booted us almost immediately.
It's Tassie.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, it's actually nerds. Get out of here.
That after party. Spreading the bad vibes.
Maybe we didn't buy enough. We started that we didn't buy enough. They're like, okay, time to leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't even matter. Furry didn't even get a chance to eat his steak.
I went through half the steak, okay?
That's
let's
the
be
most
honest.
food I saw you eat all weekend.
Actually, that might be true. I threw out so many cakes because I forgot about them.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
boy.
I did too. They also belong to you.
Oh man, we haven't even gotten to the food. So I've got some hot takes on Hobart cuisine. Are you ready for them?
Good, because I actually don't like go out that much and eat, so this will be great.
Alright, there are 2 ramen options. Now, on a personal note, I like pho and bunboe way more than ramen. But, you know, anime people like their ramen, so... There was a ramen place close to the Best Western Hotel. That was a very good ramen. There was also it wasn't like super crazy Manpoku Sydney ramen, but like it was good conventional ramen. There was also
It's a good, solid ramen.
yeah, and the dorayaki I had was nice, so that place is a thumbs up. There was also the green ramen. I can't remember its name. It's the green ramen to me, which was the one at the corner near the venue. That ramen was not very good, but their fried tofu was perfect. I would go there again just to get the tofu. 5 stars.
That's always a positive sign.
That was how we felt last year. The ramen was absolutely, well, terrible, and that's an overstatement. Understatement, actually. It was really bad. But
I was gonna say
the other food that wasn't the ramen was actually quite decent.
Like I wasn't expecting good ramen in Tasmania. That's not exactly a Japanese immigration hub.
But even when you had those low standards, it did not.
Oh yeah, so
It did
other
not.
things. There was Kim's Asian and Kebab place.
Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Bill's Asian and
Bill.
Kebab.
Yeah.
That is good. Thumbs up to Bill's Asian and Kebab.
Did you have the kebabs?
Yeah, I did have
I
a
didn't
kebab.
get any.
The kebabs were good, but it was a different style than what I'm used to back in Sydney. I can't complain though. I enjoyed it.
I'm very fine with wacky fusion kebabs. And they certainly had some wacky fusion options there, and I'm always one to respect some cool fusion. There's a place in rural South Australia, just this little country town, and it has one of the best Indian restaurants in the state. And the owner of the Indian restaurant uses his Indian restaurant to fund the other half of the storefront, which is an insane Indian-European fusion cuisine. And that's not as good as the pure Indian.
I was going to say, that sounds like it could be amazing, but could also go...
That's just his experimental passion project, and sometimes you'll stumble upon something good. So then, banjos. Oh, you guys gave me the hard sell on banjos. And as I said, I am fat and I am from rural South Australia, and I've done many trips around Victorian dairy country. You know, the place where all the vanilla slices always win the prizes. In the big vanilla slice national competitions. Man, there are some good options out there. And the pies were fine. It was fine. If that's the only bakery you've got, yeah, that's fine. But there were like 4 dessert options, and none of them were a Berliner or a Kitchener bun. Not impressed.
I've never even heard of those.
Oh man, I need... Okay. You come to whenever we do some sort of South Australian event again, I will take you on a bakery tour, mate. Well, there's... a Kitchener bun is similar to a honey log. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of a honey log either. Basically, they're a form of yeast bun, which is somewhat different to how donuts and other yeast buns are made.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a yeast bun, and you put it with fresh cream and jam, and coat with a little bit of sugar. If it's a honey log, use honey instead. Berliner buns are basically jam-filled donuts. You also get very weird, unique bakeries in South Australia. Like, there's one which does what is basically a chocolate donut, except they use cherry jam and cream. And thus they call it a Black Forest donut / Kitchener bun. That's some good stuff.
That sounds alright. That sounds pretty good.
But anyway, here's the other thing that I want to get over. So, banjos, it's fine. But I want to talk about scallop pies. Because scallop pies are, like, that is the Tasmanian bakery shtick, since it's a lot easier to get cost-effective scallops in Tasmania.
Oh, yeah, right.
You have the one at the airport, because that one's like the things.
And the tradition with scallop pies is that they're actually curried scallop pies, where you use some curry powder in your mixture, in your gravy. Now, curry powder is quite yellow, and so scallop pies have this yellow colouring. However, most scallop pie recipes in Tasmania artificially colour their scallop pies to make them more yellow. And the artificial colouring they use, 110, is actually... Well, I mean, it's a 100 series artificial colouring, which means that it's petroleum-based colouring, and I am allergic to a couple of them, especially 110. So, I ate that pie, and then I had a bad headache for the next couple of hours, and went, yep, that is a 110 pie. Here's the thing. Not only is it dumb to be using 100 series colorings, if you're using a curry recipe, there is a spice in curries called turmeric, which is cheap, quite tasty, so your thing will taste more curry-like by having it, and it's yellow. Vibrantly yellow and used in colouring and dyes. So the curry pie artificially colours its pie when it could instead use a curry spice to make it look more curry-like and taste more curry-like as well.
That's a huge blunder on their part.
So
if only they had
really
accepted a sponsorship. Yeah.
Oh yeah, can you hook me up with the banjo sponsorship so I can then rescind this all next week?
Okay.
I always loved banjos. Those red velvet cakes, they're so smooth and so fresh and fluffy.
I didn't get to eat any. I threw all of mine out.
Them.
Because I kept forgetting about them. And they were getting dropped into the bin.
Yeah, Julian was pretty happy with them. But
okay, I need to say something that's blasphemous. Banjos was not the best pie there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Blue brought some pies from, I don't know where he got them.
I think it was a Sandy Bay place.
They were amazing.
The secret ones?
Yes, the secret ones. Absolutely delicious. Like, blue banjos out of the water. Oh my god, I want some now.
To Okay, Fiery, I'll take you on
this.
that pie tour.
Oh, we're going on a pie tour. It's going to be great.
We'll do that 90-minute drive to Tanunda Bakery, and then drive another 3 hours the opposite direction to do Port Elliot.
That sounds like a trip up and around Tasmania.
Yeah, pretty much. And that gets you a little bit on the blip of the map.
Yeah.
Bloody Australia.
God damn it.
So I guess we
was
should...
pretty sick of pies after Tasmania.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, you come from the land of pie face. You can never be sick of pies. Oh wait,
So,
pie face
no.
went into voluntary receivership.
So yes, you can get sick of pie face.
Like, so, like, we landed in Melbourne, right? I'm like, already sick of pies. And then we get to Skybus. Once you exit the Skybus, the first restaurant you see is Pie Face.
Yeah. Oh man, I just remembered my favourite pie face story. There was one year, around when the Rapid Pie Face expansion happened, I was with Falco. And Falco went to a pie face at about 11 o'clock at night and said, "Hey, can I please have a vanilla shake?" To which the response by the server was, "Sure, what flavour?" And Falco, looking rather perplexed, said, "Vanilla." And the attendant said, "Yeah, that's right, but what flavour?" And so they repeated each other a couple of times, and then it turned out it was because they were doing an additional topping as an offer at that point. And he was just by default asking, "What flavour topping do you want?" But he was tired, and Falco was tired, and they were both slightly irritated by the gap in communication. So it just turned into, "But what flavour is vanilla?"
Actually, that happened on my trip to BAM in, I think it was like 20-something, probably some year a long time ago. Yeah, Pie Face had an amazing story. I believe there was a Pie Face like right next to the CQ. So if you just stay there,
Yes.
you go downstairs, and it's a Pie Face at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
Mhm.
Whoa, is that the buzzer? We running out of time? Is it
No,
time
that
to
was
speed things
my
up?
phone. I got an email. Yeah,
Any other
it's
comments
fine.
anyone has in Guilty Gear? Oh, yeah, it took a bit of a detour, but let's take it right back.
I actually, like, I don't know. I have conflicted thoughts about Guilty Gear because my tournament performance was terrible. I lost to Forte, which is, yeah, expected. Forte is a good player. And I lost to Dread, and worse than I lost to Forte, and that really upset me because Dread is, like, massively retired.
Fiery, why did you lose? We could have played together.
Well, that's why I lost, because I didn't want to play you.
Oh, sad.
That's
But
the
like,
real
I
topic.
put in a ton of effort into Guilty Gear in like the coming weeks before TFC, and then just after just playing Guilty Gear at TFC, I just realized how much homework you actually need to know to play Guilty Gear, not just of your own character, but every other character.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Like, part of what I love about Guilty Gear is that there's so many weird situational moments where, just in the spur of the moment, some weird interaction can happen, and if you're creative, you can come up with a solution to take control. But a lot of the time, you really need to just have a lot in your info stack at any one time. There's a lot to watch out for, and like this is what drove Giggles mad about the game for about the first year, was that he would come up with some elaborate setups, but then he would run into a bunch of weird situations where it doesn't work, or say, he hasn't memorized May's wake-up timing yet. So Kieran would just jump out and then do 2H, and it would blow him up.
Yeah. Definitely. Not a
I guess my
fan.
prime example of this would be the Slayer matchup.
Oh, yes.
Whoa, Slayer. Slayer is the Tekken matchup. You get it. If you make that hit, you capitalize on it. If you got in, but he blocked you, get out.
Yeah. It's very upsetting. I hate dealing with Slayer. Every time I'm in a pressure and then I'm like, alright, he's going to do the thing, and then he doesn't, and then I just look dumb and then die. It's the
Alright,
best.
this time I'm going to instant block the under pressure, and then I'm going to backdash and hit a button. Oh, no, he
Dandy
just went for
slide
the
throw.
slide that time.
Yeah, or dandy slide throw, and then you just feel like a moron.
Oh, maybe if he approaches forward, I can just, use a space 2K to beat him out of it. Oh, no, wait, some reason I just got power bunked.
Yeah. What is that word?
Oh, the one time he decided to pile bunker. Ah!
The matchup is very fun until you play it 3 times in a row.
Do you know my score against Toasty over the whole TFC?
What was it?
90-0. Okay. I think I've had enough Slayer for a lifetime.
No, you have not had enough. You need to play some Accent Core. Then you'll see some Slayer.
1 touch, 1 kill.
It's like, imagine it's everything you're dealing with, but not only are there more ways to open you up, but any one of these hits leads to 80% of your life. And corner carry.
Oh my gosh. The Fairy Slayer story from OHN. I think Javi needs to tell this one.
Oh, go ahead, Javi.
What's that story?
I don't recall a Slayer story.
When Fairy tried to play AC Slayer at OHN.
He did 2H and 6P.
There's like so many.
Isn't
like,
that the
AC
story? He did what every Slayer player does, uses 2 buttons.
The story of how he forgot to bind his controls.
Oh yeah.
Does Javi not remember this story?
Like, go and tell it.
I don't remember the story. Okay, all I remember, because I only heard this offhand, was that Fairy was trying to play Slayer. He did not bind his controls. So then he did something, and instead of doing what he wanted to do, he ended up taunting, and it was a massive read and a massive bait.
Oh.
Very fortuitous. See, most of my memories of playing Accent Core with Fairy was just him trying to teach as many people as he could Accent Core Potemkin. That's the true form of that game.
Why does Fairy always have these controller stories?
Did you block 6H? You get an unblockable setup.
Sweet. I love those.
I love
like
Accent Core
Carl.
Potemkin.
Like, I'm actually looking forward to Fairy's a new controller story from Fairy in the next BAM, because last BAM in Teams he didn't bind his buttons properly, so then he couldn't RC, so he just spent all his meter on Dragon Install.
Yeah, and like considering, like I've never seen him use Dragon Install like ever, because it's like suboptimal. It's called the name. Right, so yeah, like so much Dragon Install. Like, what is happening?
Oh, hey, that's good adaptation.
Yep.
It's like the year Giggles got the wrong buttons in Blaze Blue.
Was it Giggles last TFC that made the call?
The what?
The call. Just like mid during your set, he just called up someone else for match.
Oh, yeah. To ask Pichy for hot tips.
Yeah. It was last year. I sent him a text message after a match, and then he decided to call me during the middle of his next match.
Giggles is a great guy. I love whenever he turns up to majors. He has like a great attitude, nice guy, and he brings the hype. So I'd love to just see him at every single major.
Giggles is
so
a key part of booking your events.
Yeah. So we'll entice him with an ISO at BAM.
Yes.
Oh, he's intending to come.
That's true. If he doesn't, sad times.
So then, Tassie FighterCon, it's a very small event, but it's a very, very cozy and fun event. And we're moving into a state of flux for fighting games, particularly in Australia. The next couple of years are going to be very interesting, and we're probably going to be seeing some greater degree of centralization, in my opinion. But it's still valuable to have these smaller, cozier events around. There's events that you want to go to compete, there's ones you want to go to have fun and enjoy the wacky world of fighting games, and this is a good one to go to. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. There's a difference between a 700-man tournament, a 100-man tournament, and a 3,000-man tournament. There's just so many things you would experience between all 3 of them, and it really depends what you're really looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
Any other thoughts, anyone? Or shall we wrap it up there for this week?
When's TFC 4?
Next year.
Yay!
Cool. Can I have some better dates? I need to book my flights now. They might be sales soon.
Patience.
Patience.
I want to have for BAM seeding. I want to have another podcast. Like the idea that I have in my mind is like
Public seating event.
But to make things easier, we'll have a draft ready. So I'll like draft up some Builder Gear ones, and hopefully Fire can help me with some Blaze Blue ones and whatnot. And then sit in the podcast. We're like, yeah, this guy, move him up and down.
Yeah, I'd like to have a TO from each state on that. I think that's a good idea to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was hoping for like the same people as now, but add on like Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. I'd be up for that.
Mm-hmm. And I've got a bunch of other fighting game topics that I could talk about, so should be able to resume a fortnightly schedule for fighting game talk, and I'll be looking to do so, trying to put over local events when they prop up. In the meantime, thank you for listening this week. We'll talk to you again next... Oh, wait, before I say we'll talk to you again next time, hit up the Pichy and Pals YouTube channel, and you can listen to my voice. I've got about 12 hours worth, probably now, of audio of me talking about film with my friend Matt, where I'm steadily driving him insane by making him watch boring old Hollywood films. It's fun learning experience if you need some audio for some long commutes or just like to have voices on in the background while you work. Check those shows out. I'm aiming to have a more interesting video up about anime by the end of this week. We'll see if that actually gets done. In the meantime, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh wait, do you want me to talk about wrestling?
Wrestling.
Check out my WrestleMania 34 Pichy and Palscast. It's a very long view and well worth it. Good night.